Asa said her biggest fear is getting close to people, but also being lonely. Yoru is basically the antidote to that, because she's forced to be with Yoru. She's forced to be with someone. She fears letting someone into her heart and mind and pouring out her heart and mind to someone. With Yoru, she has no other choice. So she's forced into a situation that is uncomfortable for her. But at the same time, we saw in the aquarium, she was lonely without Yoru. She wants to trust Yoru, but she also distrusts Yoru. It's the perfect juxtaposition that is taking place within Asa. The fear and the longing that are contradictory, but can't be without the other. And that is perfectly symbolized with Yoru. Denji's journey has always been about he wants to be loved. He wants to be loved for who he is, and he wants to love, and he wants to be on equal terms when it comes to love. He doesn't want to be submissive anymore. He wants to be independent. So yeah, that's his journey, that's his goal. Whereas with Yoru is trusting again, building up trust, and also being okay with being alone. You know, there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. She wants her body to be her own. She wants autonomy back, but she also wants people to be close with. With Yoru, Yoru is pretty intrusive, right? But maybe Yoru is gonna help her overcome that trauma, or it's gonna deepen the trauma, just like with Denji and Makima. But that deepening of the trauma, making her stronger, just like with Denji. That would be the ideal. It could be the opposite. You know, we have the positive outcome, Denji, who is strong, who is someone who can forgive and forget what's in the past and start anew with a new day. And so he can perhaps still long for this unconditional love, where he's still independent, but also his feelings getting reciprocated. He could be the positive outcome, and Asa could be like the opposite, the negative outcome. Like, what happens when someone's not as mentally strong as Denji? I hope it's not the case. I hope that Chainsaw Man is a story of hope, as I said, of positivity, of optimism. That when part 1 started with Denji, and it ended with him getting stronger through the deepening of his trauma, maybe part 2 can also end with Asa getting stronger through the deepening of her trauma. Maybe if there's a part 3, like, we get all these journeys that end on a bittersweet note. Like, there's still the trauma. The ending of part 1 was bad. It was pretty bad. But the outlook was good, you know? Denji getting stronger and still having the positive outlook. So maybe we can get this ambiguity with the endings with the other parts too, if there's going to be multiple parts. I don't know if part 2 is going to be the last one, but I would hope that the story of Chainsaw Man, even though traumatizing, bad, tragic things happen, that also make you as a reader reflect on yourself. That they can be stories that you derive positivity from, optimism from. Just like how Berserk readers say, oh, whatever happens to me in life, at least Guts has it worse. And he's always getting up again. He's struggling throughout life, but he is getting up every time life beats him down, time and time again. So he's an inspiration. So I hope the Chainsaw Man, I think that would also create a stronger bond with the reader. You know, having tragic heroes is perhaps romantic or aesthetically pleasing for a reader. But having an inspirational character, that is something that makes you emotionally invested to the work. And that also affects you in real life deeply. Because you always think back on the character, whether they're real or not, doesn't matter. The effects are real. And that's what matters. So I would hope the Chainsaw Man is such a type of story where no matter how dark it gets, and no matter how shit the ending is for the characters, that there's still this glimmer of hope there. And that they keep getting up and they keep moving forward. I would hope that for the story.